about what really has been going on with the whole situation with Preacher Girl or whatever. Like, so I'm trying to speak clearer and less, emotional and everything. So Preacher Girl was murdered, not by me. I had said all this stuff in a troll where I was trying to catch my neighbors and the police who were working on and off with my neighbors and with people around town to fuck up my life. I've been saying stuff that were trolls, and I had been fucking around with that shit, and I had said stuff about how I'm a dog fighter and all this other stuff, right? And then I kill dogs and just shit like that, right? But there's no evidence of me doing that, right? I'm just trying to take care of my dogs and to support them and whatever. And people around town, certain police officers like this one from Hernando, is involved with local police, the local pizza places and other places, and other, businesses basically with certain types of people who are supposedly, I don't know if they were really trolling or whatever, but they're supposed to be some sort of gang, and I know that they do weird shit. Like, they have a couple people who are like really into rap or whatever in their family, and like they have like this weird way of talking that reminds me of like, mobster shit or something like that, you know what I mean? So what basically happened was, like with that cop, like in particular, I had said some shit about Slice of Life and other stuff. Well, that cop that works with them tried to get my ass over it, and I was working at a place called Zooters before it got shut down, and some of their employees decided to say and contact one of the places like that Slice of Life, like I worked for, and I had said to do it just because like I wanted to see if they would actually do it. I told them that there was like a bunch of gang members or some shit over there or something like that, right? Well, and that they always have like, problems with the restaurant or whatever. Well, I gave them the wrong Slice of Life that I was working at, and these motherfuckers actually did that shit. I didn't do it. And, the people, one was named Ryan Brown, whose parent was a police officer. The other one was a local drug dealer named Chase, who has been dealing drugs in Tampa for a long time, and is friends with another known drug dealer named Blaze Periag, who's been dealing drugs, and I've been friends with Blaze for the longest until, I didn't really want to be around those type of people anymore, But yeah, so, but Chase is like a local, he does like a lot of restaurant stuff, and then, Ryan Brown does a lot of, restaurant stuff and chef stuff. These are like the worst type of people, you know what I mean? So that they sell a lot of drugs to people, illegal shit, all that stuff. But essentially, these people, basically have done some, really bad shit, and they basically told one of this other Slice of Life that I had snitched on them, and I didn't, even though they snitched on them. And they actually tried to set it up to where it looked like I snitched on Zooters or whatnot, which I didn't. And they were friends with the fucking what's it called, the food inspector, which is like a black guy from downtown. He's friends with Chase or whatever, right? And they were trying to get my ass because I was talking shit about Tampa, and I didn't like Tampa or the people here or whatever, right? So they tried to get my ass, right? There's a bunch of liberal crazies. So they tried to set me up, yada yada yada. But I think that they investigated them because I did this troll thing where I acted all sad about it, whatever, which I did, and I was really sad about it because they would threaten me all the time and try to like be passive aggressive, but I knew that they hated me, and they would do like this psyop bullshit where they tried to make me out to be like crazy because like I was getting their vibes from them and shit, you know what I'm saying? And they would make me out to look like I'm crazy because they would play like passive aggressive and all this other fuck shit, you know what I mean? Well, they basically, and they would talk to like my family and stuff somehow and other people somehow because they were, talking and, doing all this shit, you know what I mean? So, and Eric Eric, the owner was trying to be involved with it too, and Chase was giving him stuff to make him look like he wasn't really that involved, but he was. They were just trying to get me because they were all liberals, you know what I mean? So they basically tried to get my ass, so it was like this whole big thing. And and it's like it made its way over to the Slice of Life guy, right? And like the people who I was talking about with Slice of Life, the owners and shit, like, and people who are a part of Slice of Life, and they were trying to get me back for it. Well, the Hernando cop is dirtier than a fucking, like dollar bill on the floor, and he was been trying to investigate my ass and follow me around and do fuck shit with my phone and all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, and all this other stuff. So and I've never even snitched on a pizza place. That's the funny thing. Like I might say some crazy shit. I think I did even say that I did or whatever at some point just to troll them. I've never actually snitched on any pizza place or any restaurant that I worked at. The only thing I've ever done, I think, is when I worked at Lucky Dog. I did make a complaint on their thing. That's it. That's the only thing I did, is make some complaint at Lucky Dog, and they ended up getting shut down. Apparently somebody saw it. But they had rats all on their walls and shit, and they were mismanaging shit, and some dogs died, the whole nine, so basically, like, yeah, that shit happened. And they always do. They always try to, like, frame you and make it look like you're some type of fucking bad person, and then fucking, the one place, the Lighthouse Subs place, like this whole area has been trying to get my ass. My neighbors, the Lighthouse Subs place, all that stuff, they tried to like sit there and get me to attack them or whatever, and they set it up that way, yada yada yada. But the whole point is that these people are the worst type of human beings. Like the cops around here, like the whole right side is like the worst as far as cop corruption and all that shit, so. It's like this big ass ordeal, like with the cops and stuff. So, basically after Lighthouse Subs and other times, my girlfriend essentially was involved at some point with trying to sabotage me and taking pictures of my dogs and this and that all the time. And she was trying to like coach me up in a way, because I think that she had contacted Will about some shit, and Will is a district attorney, and he contacted the state attorney or something, and they know each other. Just like the whole nine, like basically like happened and stuff, but yeah, like my girlfriend's involved with trying to stop, me from breeding dogs and all this other shit, right? Which has nothing to do with anything, because I don't do anything to the dogs. Like, I don't have to legally take a bunch of dogs to the vet for every little thing. Nobody in dogs does that. No, not a single human being in breeding dogs will take their dogs to the vet at every little problem. If anybody who thinks that should be the case should never be involved in any sort of politics, right? They work their dogs too. These aren't pets. This isn't like owning, like I'm not taking my fucking dogs into every little, thing, you know what I mean? So it's like this whole ordeal, and I've been also abused by a lot of vets. A lot of vets have been making fun of me and stuff like that because I'm trying to make this new thing and I'm getting somewhere. There's a lot of people who have been seeing that I'm getting somewhere with it, and they're trying to copy it, like Los Guerreros and all these other canine people, Nelson Valera, who works with canine departments around here, and all these other people. They're trying to copy my ideas because my ideas are looking good. I've only done a few breedings, but they came out really well aside from blowing a tire. It's not easy to do this shit, but I'm going to be able to do it, and they're seeing that. Well, and that's what I'm trying to say is that, I don't even have like that much of training with the decoy whole thing or whatever, but I'm not even involved with stuff like that much. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like do anything that's wrong like that. And I didn't even put down comment or preacher girl, like which is what I'm gonna get to. But my girl has been trying to sabotage shit and take pictures and this whole thing. Like they've been trying to like fuck up my shit because apparently like my neighbors have been telling her that I've been saying that I cheated on her or whatever. But the reason did all that shit is because I wanted to see if she was going to betray me, and she did. She took the bait and she betrayed my ass. And so like her and Will, who's a state attorney or a district attorney for Tampa, you know, were using shit against me and all this other stuff. And it, you know, just like I can end up suing them, you know, basically for it, and like I want to, but I also don't want to be in court for 5 years. But that's why I'm buying a polygraph machine to explain all this shit on my channel. That's all it's gonna be. And like they even had local polygraph people not want to do questions about cops or whatever because they worked with cops, and like they did this whole thing so that I could not have anywhere to go, basically, like legally. Like I even called Morgan & Morgan about all this shit, and I even brought up like my mental health background and stuff, and like why did they, you know, like they did all this shit to me in multiple different departments, and they've been going around town, you know, going and finding, ever since I talked about Buddy and that one police officer came the one time, and I knew that it was all like, you know, he had known about some shit and whatever, because they apparently all had like ring cameras. Like there's a cop in the neighborhood and stuff that ended up, you know what I'm saying? Like a cop in the neighborhood that ended up, you know, sitting there and like telling Pasco about me because apparently they thought I was some sort of like dog fighter or whatever. I've never fought dogs. You know what I mean? Like the neighbors all talk and have ring cameras. I've never fought any dogs. I don't want to be a part of that shit. I'm just doing my own thing with dogs. Like, mind your own fucking business. You know what I'm saying? Like, they love to try to sit there and start some shit up, you know, instead of just like figuring out who you are and what you do and all this other shit. And, you know, and they don't even understand it, and they're just constantly trying to bag your ass for something in this country. So apparently, yeah, like the one cop that came for like the one incident with Buddy where like they were trying to jump me, the neighbors or whatever, right? So like that whole thing basically happened. You know, it was like this whole big ordeal, and they've been killing some of my dogs, you know, in the neighborhood and all this other shit. You know, they've been trying to catch my ass all the time for fucking something, and like they keep trying to get me and to see like which type of person I am and all this other shit. Well, you know, they know that I could sue them too, you know, like they, trust me, DeSantis knows, they all know, because they just showed me that they do, you know. So you know, that's another thing. I've been helping out the Trump administration by saying different things and what to do and the trolls and all that stuff, and then they ended up doing them, and it worked. You know, they won the election, and now they're appointing the head of the you know, the what's it called, lawyer, you know, state attorney or whatever. They're appointing her as the senator, you know, or something, and they're gonna have some new person, and they're probably gonna try to scare my ass or whatever. But either way, I'm gonna be in court for it. Like, I'm gonna end up beating the shit out of them with that. I'm gonna get a polygraph machine, all that shit. Like, if it comes down to it, I'm gonna start talking about all the years of multiple different departments. The fact that even the Hernando department was sitting there playing games, like they put a camera down. You know, like I had said something about like make sure my barber knows and all this other fuck shit, that they put a camera down, and you know, basically was like doing all this stuff, and they've been trying to investigate my ass for the longest and try to get me with as much charges and whatever and yada yada yada. So we're, like I said, we're gonna go into court if it, you know, show that the poison I have doesn't even kill dogs or none of that shit, you know. And they're gonna try, like they're probably gonna like, you know, do this thing like with my neighbor. They're gonna fucking try to act like after her dogs ate some of my poison or yada yada yada, that they fucking you know, were you know, they'll try to be like, oh, they're sick and they died or some shit like that. Well, you know, they were letting them run free all the time on purpose and yada yada yada, and I just let it out on the side of my property, a bunch of rat poison and shit. And if they ended up dying, then that's on them. You know what I'm saying? So, but they really didn't die. Like, we all know that you can't do it unless they have to eat like a shit ton of the stuff I use. You know what I mean? And so, in regards to that with Preacher Girl, I had did this whole thing where I was like, oh, I dropped a pebble of something or yada 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 in there, and she ate some of it or something like that, and I even waited 7 or 8 days, you know, and I've been telling the cops, you know, basically like I troll, and that like I waited long enough to prove that that nothing happened, that even if I had did that too, which I didn't, But even if I did that, right, like, and I accidentally dropped 1 or 2 pebbles in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, if she took it, she would be fine. Like, and even especially if it was a decent dose, it would croak in about a day to 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So it's this whole thing, like, that they're trying to do. And so if they keep doing it, then, you know, I'm going to sue them. And I'm going to start bringing up the fact that what they did, and I'm going to put it on polygraph tests, all the stuff that I told DeSantis and all this other shit. And we'll just get to the nitty gritty of it on how, you know, basically, you know, like they basically have been, you know, doing shit back to the liberals and stuff and yada, yada, yada. Like, you know, it's going to be exposed if they keep playing games. You know, if not, then I'll just kind of go my own way for a while and try to be a politician and people who know, you know, kind of thing. But, you know, I'll try to, like, you know, do my best and not try to fucking put too much stress on them while they change the country back, even though they do have essentially like the main, what am I saying? They have the main fucking vote and shit, you know? But the point is that it's because of what I told Trump to do in the late stages of his, you know, presidential run, like, you know, or his political run to be president. Like, they were going off rip, book by book, you know, with that shit. So that's what I'm trying to say is that, like, no, but that's what I'm trying to say is that, like, this shit is like, you know, they have to understand, like, you're not gonna win this shit if I take it to court. Like, there's no way you're winning. Like, unless you cheat me and the whole system cheats me, you're not winning. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole system is corrupt as fuck. So we'll see how good of people that you are. Everyone's gonna know. Everyone's gonna take this. Everyone who knows is gonna take this as, like, the truth about our country, and then you're gonna look like shit. So either way, you know what I mean? Even if they, like, off my ass and I don't get 100 million, or they throw me in jail for whatever, you know, because they say that they found evidence of this and that, or yada, 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 you know, but at the end of the day, I didn't do shit to Preacher Girl, and I can prove that in court. Like, even if it was a pebble or two that, like, they can prove that I, like, in court, like, basically wrong, you know, they'll say that, like, he obviously did it on accident, you know, but you can't actually do anything, and you have no evidence of how she actually died, for one. And even if you did go, because I think that what they did was they went into there and tried to get, like, a blood sample of her, because, like, her legs were crisscrossed and shit and all this other stuff. Well, they don't understand that, like, I set it up to where I didn't do anything. And even if they were, like, filming with my neighbors and shit, and they filmed everything about what happened those days, right? Like, she was fine for 7-8 days before I left. It was, like, on the first that I did the whole thing, and then it was like, you know, like 7, you know, there's no, like, it'll say online for different types of poison, it's like 3 to 7 days, but it's really not like that, and you have to give them per body weight. That's for all poisons. Like, it has to be per body weight, and I can prove that in court, and that's what I'm trying to say is that, and they actually know that, like, I've shown it, like, through my phone, because they've been in my phone, that I've given, you know, some occasionally to some of the dogs, and they were fine, because it doesn't do anything, bro. It's not gonna do anything, and that's not even really true. Wink, wink, or maybe it is, or it's not. Like, nobody's gonna know because you have no evidence. But at the end of the day, bro, we all know that shit doesn't work. You know what I mean? You have to give it to them per body weight, and I'm gonna expose that shit one way or another. So, you know, I'm gonna show exactly that it works, and like, they're not gonna have a chance, bro. Like, none of them are gonna have a chance. I'll sit there, and I told them too, like, you gotta sit there and wait, basically, to you know, like, I was, like, trying to give them some pointers because they have no shot. And, like, I was trying to say, you should try to, like, wait for me to give them some, and then, like, you know, when I'm not looking, give them some more, and make sure it's the right thing, you know. And they were in my house to try to see which kind that I have. You know, they were in my house, and they basically did this whole thing to try to set it up, you know, to where, you know, yada, 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 but they still won't win in court. They have no chance. Even though they set me up with Rex, right? Either way, bro, like, even Rex ate a really bad type of it and had it in his stool, and he was still fine. He was still fine, bro. That shit's crazy. He even had the worst type that I use, and he ate a fuck ton of it, and he was still fine. So at the end of the day, bro, they're fucked. Absolutely fucked. So know, but if it happens, if not, you know, and I think that they know that basically, you know, they'll try to make it look like, you know, on the news and shit that, you know what I mean, like they'll try to be like, oh, you know, playing along with it and trying to scare me that they're, you know, because they know that I have some evidence against it, but they could always get me on like, well, you did drop it in there according to like this video or something, you know what I mean? But like everyone's gonna know that like it wouldn't even do anything, so the most I'll get is like accidentally poisoning my dogs on accident, and it didn't even kill her. You know what I mean? That's the most that they would get me on. But even then, it's like you have no evidence of me actually doing anything because you didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really didn't, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'll get on the stand and tell them that all day. You know, so. But the other time, you know, I might have shown that I did it with, you know, a few of my other ones, but you don't have any evidence of that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, you know. And they were fine. And then the time y'all went to my shit with Rex, you know, and all I gotta do is take a polygraph test and show that as evidence. They won't permit it if it's like, they'll try to say, oh, you know, you can't permit it because it's not a government issued polygraph test. Well, that shit don't matter. It's some sort of evidence as to what I said in this whole entire event. So I got y'all by the balls. They're gonna have to put it to where it's evidence because it's something that I have brought up on my channel, and it's evidence as far as that. And they'll sit there and be like, oh, well, he's trying to sway, you know, it doesn't matter. It's still evidence according to my entire experience relating to, and it's about the stress that I've been dealing with, and it has to do with the fact that this is examples of how I felt and all that. They're gonna literally sit there and let all that shit in court. They have to legally. So we'll see if y'all are the best people, and we'll see if y'all trust me, because I guarantee you, I'm coming out with a bunch of money, a bunch, bro. Like I'm taking it. I'd be a billionaire, bro, by the time. Like I would get like 100 million. Like just based off of like the first 10 years of abuse from multiple different departments. And then on top of it, the one guy from the mental hospital is one of y'all canines people and stalked me and fucking PetSmart the one time. Because I had made comments about it beforehand, even before the whole situation with the one sexy ass blonde bitch that followed me in Publix, and my girl, you know, after I did the troll, my girl, like, listen, I have a memory like a fucking elephant, bro. I can name all the different times it happens. I just store it in my brain. Like I said, I do have an image-based memory, and I have an elephant-based. I will remember everything. And this will all go on polygraph. I'm just gonna do it just to have it on standby. I swear to God, I'll have that shit right on standby in my YouTube channel, and I'll just be talking about that shit. And we'll see. How y'all better make sure that no one views those videos. That's about the only chance in hell that y'all got. Because y'all can say, oh, it's about national security or some shit, and, you know, we don't know who this guy really is, and to hold off on it because we don't know his play yet or something. That's what I would do. But other than that, just for those videos, though, because if y'all fuck up my channel too much, or if y'all mess up my channel to where I can't get a lot of views, I'm going to end up just showing it. Then you're really fucked, you know? But I'm sure you probably can get YouTube to be like, you know, letting you do whatever. Because they'll say, oh, he's been saying he's a Terry and stuff. Well, according to these videos, though, I've been apparently helping out the Republican Party. So how does that work? Something's wrong with that shit. Listen, I promise I will crucify you guys in court. So we'll see if y'all really trust me. I honestly do want to do that shit, but I also really don't want the stress right now. I know the CIA really loves my ass, but if it came down to it, they would probably off my ass for no reason. You know, I'm just going to go based off of traditional CIA, problems. So, you know, that's fine. You know what I mean? We can, you know, I'll leave it as it is, as long as I get to have my fucking dogs and make this canine, and y'all, you know, need to start figuring out what the fuck you're going to do about this economy, because if not, I'm literally going to absolutely destroy it. And you can even put Ron DeSantis in there, bro. I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to absolutely destroy the fuck out of y'all in an election, bro. Like, and he knows it. Like, if I go and become president, he knows that shit. He knows I'm gonna fucking off y'all in an election, bro. I'm gonna talk about minimum wage being drastically higher, and I'm gonna make the billionaires pay for it and shit, and it's gonna be like epic, bro. Like, I promise. The people are gonna sit there and be like, yes, Everybody, there's way more workers than there are bosses. Just on those politics, I'm kicking y'all's ass all day. All day. Y'all better fix it. Y'all better put that shit at least 15. It should be like 20 at least. At least. Even if you were going based on the same styles of government that y'all have always had, and you made it really like USD proof and inflation proof, it needs to be like 20 and 15 for tip workers, and it needs to be inflation proof and everything. We're all dying out here. I don't know of a single human being out here that is like, the average is absolutely skewed based on trillionaires and billionaires, like, or future trillionaires, and no one's really a trillionaire, but it's pretty much like close. They're getting there. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like a big ass ordeal, you know. Like, because I'm just telling y'all, bro. Like, nobody's, all those top 1%, the top 25% is absolutely skewing the whole data on average. Nobody's making 60 grand out here. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. Nobody is making 60 grand a year. Period. I don't know. There's professional chefs who aren't even making that. You know what I'm saying? I know a bunch of them that are okay enough chefs to run restaurants, and they don't even make anywhere near that. 45, 50 tops. Like, no one's making 68 grand or whatever it is on the average. They're just not. The average person is working at Walmart or Amazon or something, making like $15, $20 an hour tops. Their fucking teeth are falling out. You know what I'm saying? They have no health care, no nothing. And y'all are just letting them, you know, you can cut. Listen, y'all need to cut a bunch of taxes so the billionaires can pay for a higher minimum wage for people. Like, a lot of people. Like, high as fuck. It needs to be extremely high in inflation and dollar proof. Okay? And then they also need to, like, you know, you can cut Social Security somewhat, you know? And government shit is just make them tax free. You know what I'm saying? If you make all retirees tax free and they're all making like 50 to 100 a year, their whole life, they can save up for retirement if they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? You just take the taxes off of them and you don't spend as much on Social Security. You know what I mean? And all this other bullshit. And military defense should be much higher. Should be like 20, 25%. Just like that. Boom. You change the whole land. Everyone's going to want to join the military and get benefits, you know, and more money towards military defense and you know, related to military, you know, stuff. And then you know, you can maybe have some shit. But I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all don't change that shit, at least 20 or something, if y'all don't change it, I'm gonna win. Like, you actually think that y'all have a chance, bro? Y'all have no chance. I don't even have to be in government, bro. Trump's proven that. It's over. Like, if I can even wait till I'm like 40, 45 and then all this shit blows over, and I can bring it right up with some polygraph tests, and it was gonna shock the whole planet, you know, if I wanted to. Like, anybody who hasn't seen it, by the end of the day, bro, I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, I will absolutely run this shit better than even DeSantis. Like, DeSantis has copied all my shit. He's copying all my shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got Jocko and all these people, like, listening to me all the time. Like, they would love me to do some shit. Like, I really would do that shit. I would find a way to do it. At least the minimum wage is going skyrocketing. That's what I'm saying. Like, everyone's going to be like, yo, I'm joining the military now. You know, the minimum wage is going to be great, you know. And, you know, even if you do, like, a lot more in military spending, whatever, that's fine. But, you know, and that's probably smarter, honestly, to be, like, being able to have the military pay people much. So that you get people to go more towards the military. Because, you know, the minimum wage, you know what I'm saying? If the military's paying a lot more than minimum wage, I could see that would work. And that would be one of my ideas. But, and like, that's what I had said too, you know. But that's what I mean, is that y'all need to set that shit up properly. You know, and I'm going to have, like I said, I'm going to have a polygraph machine, start taking shit, you know, where I do my own polygraphs, and it's going to be done. I'm going to study up on how to do polygraphs and all the information I need. And I'm going to sit there and prove on camera that it follows all that shit. And I'm going to show the test results and, you know, all the little scribbles and shit to everybody on the channel. And it's going to be great. I'm not gonna post them on public just yet. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Because like I said, I don't want to have to deal with y'all motherfuckers. Like, I don't trust y'all motherfuckers as far as I can throw y'all yet. I'm getting there, but I'm just saying, we can still build trust one way or another. And I understand, you know, y'all are probably going to try to kick me in the nuts a little bit. That's fine, you know. Like I said, if you end up doing that temporary thing and they leave it be, you know, and I'll sit there and tell a judge whatever, and he better go based off of that, unless he's trying to sit there and say that, you know, like, just based on word of mouth and the other stuff is trolls. Okay, fine. But I'm just trying to tell y'all that shit's gonna make me mad as fuck, and I'm just you're really pushing it. That's all I'm saying. Like, you're really fucking pushing it. Like, you have no idea. Like, I could absolutely sue y'all right now. I almost want to. I literally want to almost make $100 million, just spend 5 years. But at the same time, I really don't trust that you fucks aren't going to try to do something to my life somehow. Or it's going to be all over the news and just be a bad look in general. And then, like, it would be hard for me to even run as a Republican, which I want to run as a Republican because they're usually more right. And DeSantis is going to do better based off of the shit that I say. And it's going to be all this fuckery that I'm going to have to sit up there and try to make up to the whole world, which I probably can. But the main thing is that I don't trust you motherfuckers, is the main thing. And I also don't trust that you guys won't go around town and fuck up every little job that I'm supposed to have. Even the government jobs, you'll find a way to fuck it up. So that's what I'm worried about. So we'll see, you know. We'll see. But then you're going to push me to make $100 million. Because at that point, then I'm just not going to, like, I can make literally $100 million off of this shit. No problem. And, like, to be honest with you, I'm kind of, like, really wanting to do that shit. I just don't fucking trust you. I know you're going to try to do something. You're going to try to do something somehow and fucking spread the wrong shit around. Trying to say I'm this and that, whatever, you know. And then, you know, you'll sit there and try to act like, you know, at least because of the stuff that I said, I might be, you know, this or that. But the fact is that I'm a troll, so they're probably going to toss it because I'm obviously having perfect time, you know, and I'm trying to be healthy and all this other shit. So, we'll see.